not lithium condensate to be a concentrate, to be processed here, but it is. But alongside, we commend you, we congratulate you, and we will continue to support you so that it will be taken to the fullest level. At this point, I sincerely, honestly appreciate the fact that I have been called upon here to give a word or two. And as a legislator, I think I will have to blow my trumpet, or the trumpet of myself and our colleagues, because of the endowment that Nasarawa State has on solid minerals, and the performance of our governor, which has projected the state much more than ever before, is why I am sponsoring a bill for the Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa to be transformed to University of Mining and Engineering Technology. Thank you very much for listening, and I love you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Shi yasa Engineer Abdullahi Sule yace ayi wadada domin akwai wadata idan aka yi wadada. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going on.
Your Excellency, there is no doubt that you're familiar with multi-million-dollar projects like this. Yet we would have loved that you go around and experience the processes firsthand. But of course, that would be insensitive to the demand of your office, which, by the way, you attend to with so much gusto and competence. Your deep commitment to duty, your unshakable belief in the Nigerian project, your unalloyed loyalty and immense support for your principal and our leader, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in words and in deeds are evident. You're doing an incredible job, Mr. Vice President. The flag-off of the legacy road projects and commissioning of roads constructed by the Nasarawa State government in Akwanga yesterday are clear testimony of what the APC, you and Mr. President, the APC governors, and the Renewed Hope crew can do and are doing for the Nigerian team. In the words of Governor Abdullahi A. Sule, at every given opportunity, we cannot say thank you enough to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So with your kind permission, Mr. Vice President, allow us to take you through the processes in this facility in just over 5 minutes, with your kind permission. Media crew, please.
Shaping today's world. Lithium, the driving force behind electric cars, renewable energy, and a cleaner planet. Let's share with you the unique story of Nasarawa's investment drive and a 6,000 tons per day lithium processing plant. The story of Diamond New Energy Limited, the company that is complementing the new way Nigeria thinks and is harnessing its mineral resources. In Nasarawa, the home of solid minerals, mining is a way of life. Basically artisanal, miners work with bare hands and simple tools, scouring the land and earning little from the minerals they uncovered. For decades, it meant little to the people. Raw minerals dug up and counted away, often under the cover of darkness, with no real value left behind. The wealth beneath the soil helped others, not the locals, and certainly not the state. That sorry situation had to change. Governor Abdullahi Sule, an accomplished engineer, saw the need for a new direction and wasted no time in taking a bold decision. No more exporting raw resources without value addition. The new thinking is that mining companies must process on site, create jobs, and give back to the land that gives so much.
Nasarawa State is so blessed that is called the state of solid minerals. 2 weeks after I became the governor, the first ministry I visited was the Ministry of Solid Minerals. I visited that in order to understand how many licenses were actually given. As at that time, 416 licenses were awarded in Nasarawa State. And yet, Nasarawa State government was not getting 1 million naira as revenue.
Governor Sule's resolve and sincerity, coupled with a secured environment, encouraged several companies. One of them is a new diamond must process on site, create jobs, and give back to the land that gives so much.
Nasarawa State is so blessed that it's called the state of solid minerals. 2 weeks after I became the governor, the first ministry I visited was the Ministry of Solid Minerals. I visited that in order to understand how many licenses were actually given. As at that time, 416 licenses were awarded in Nasarawa State. And yet, Nasarawa State government was not getting 1 million naira as revenue.
Governor Sule's resolve and sincerity, coupled with a secured environment, encouraged several companies. One of them is a new diamond energy company, a Chinese firm with a Nigerian commitment. In the heart of Endo, the largest lithium processing factory in West Africa, sits pretty, a world-class facility born from both Chinese investment, Governor Sule's unwavering commitment, and in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision and ambition.
Our plan is the line 1. Line 1 is 2 million tons per year. The line 2 is the same, 2 million tons per year. And we have done establish of the line 1, and the line 2 is still under process.
But more than steel and machines, they brought something rare, a long-term vision of partnership, development, and community benefit.
We have a good relationship with the local government and the state government. We want to do some contribution for our country, for our local government, even our community. This is our responsibilities for the social.
With over 2,000 meters of depth mined and dozens of advanced machines deployed, hundreds of workers, millions of dollars invested, this isn't just a factory, it's the future of energy and a renewed hope in partnership that is working.
We have done take the machine, take the processing of the lithium. We want to building the factory is the biggest and the best.
Construction of such a massive infrastructure speaks to the precision and deployment of some of the world's latest technology, starting from the foundation, sourcing of the right equipment, tools, and manpower. Every bolt and knot, each moving part, each sequence tells the story of what is required to achieve 6,000 tons per day and an annual capacity of 2 million tons. In West Africa today, Diamond New Energy stands tall in terms of output, investment, and technology. A leader in standalone spodumene separation line, setting a benchmark in local modern lithium industry. It all begins here, deep below the surface, where lithium-rich rock is extracted using massive excavators and payloaders. Every layer tells a story, and every ton matters. Next, the ore is transported by heavy-duty tippers to the sorting zone. Here, skilled operators begin the delicate task of separating the valuable from the valueless. Giant crushers grind the rock into manageable sizes, making it easier to extract the lithium locked inside. Through washing and advanced separation techniques, the lithium is gradually isolated, heavy from light, pure from waste. The refined lithium concentrate is dried, tested, and further purified to meet the highest industrial standards. This is what the world demands and what Endo delivers. Finally, the finished product is weighed, bagged and stored, ready for export, ready for industry, ready for the future. At the heart of this story is the people that run the machines. Many Nigerians have been employed. At New Diamond Energy, worker welfare is priority. From proper safety gear to a modern health clinic on site, every staff member matters.
In the factory, we are getting 638. The line 2, we will add another 400 workers, depending on the work.
My role as a geologist in this place, we do the site sourcing, then the quality control. So the material that comes out from the pits has to go through us. We choose which one to go and which not to go in the pits.
My core assignment is providing accommodation for new intake.
We focus on health, safety and environment. So in terms of health, we make sure that the staffs are okay. Most of the time when they have any symptoms, we try to manage and then also provide education for them to be able to keep themselves healthy. Make sure that we provide them with necessary PPE.
In this department alone, approximately we have more than 10 Nigerian workers who are understanding the Chinese law manager and across various departments. Then we have some departments in which they were even handed over to the Nigerians, to take control, to be in charge.
And for the people of Endo, the benefits are already showing. Nasarawa State received $1.5 million as signature bonus. Out of this, Governor Sule dedicated $500 million for the needs of the host community and environs.
Ku zo da abubuwan da zai amfani mutane gaba ɗaya. Za ku zo da asibiti da za a gina. Za ku zo da wutar lantarki da za a kawo. Za ku zo da aikin ruwa da za a yi. Za ku zo da aikin hanya da ya kamata a yi. Za ku zo da maganar makaranta da za a taimaki wayansu su yi. Idan muka yi wayannan abubuwa wanda kowa a community zai ci albarkacin wannan abu.
In addition, the company is committed to its CSR, forging a harmonious and mutually beneficial relationship till date. Corporate social responsibility is not a slogan here, it's a promise kept. New schools, health centers, clean water, jobs in the thousands.
We do the bridge for them so they can pass the river.
By extension, a renewed hope has been kindled in the minds of the people. The life of the state and Nigeria is the better for it. From smartphones, batteries to solar panel and tomorrow's green cities, lithium is at the heart of it all.
Hello?
And right here in Nasarawa, Nigeria is laying claim to a stake in the future.
We hope.
Thank you, media.
We are working here.
We'd like to thank you so very much, media. Thank you. We want to thank His Excellency. We'd like to thank His Excellency, the President, and would like to thank the Vice President for your patience. We'd like to thank the Honorable Ministers. The centerpiece of the President's Renewed Hope agenda is you optimize, growth. You generate employment, and that is what has been keyed into in Nasarawa State by His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Sule under the Nasarawa Economic Development Strategy. It's my single honor and privilege at this point to invite the Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals Development in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our very own Mr. Henry Dele Alake, to come and give us a glimpse of his vision.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, distinguishingly represented by no less a personality than the distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima. Now, that name is not strange to every one of you here. Distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima is the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the current Vice President, and a Vice President that has really flown the flag of unity, of commitment, of loyalty, of demonstrable performance and ingenuity and competence in all of his undertakings and endeavors in the service of Nigeria. Your Excellency, the indefatigable governor of Nasarawa State, and who we jocularly refer to as the unofficial Minister of State for Solid Minerals in Nigeria. And that is a no mean feat, because you don't just give people appellations or synonyms. You give people accolades and synonyms based on what they have done, based on what we call in journalism ocular proof, which is visible to the eyes. Governor Sule's efforts, Yeoman's efforts in transforming Nasarawa State has yielded very fruitful results that are visible to the eyes. Even in some instances, some people say the blind could see them. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please, before I go on, I want you to indulge me in giving a very, very loud applause to the Vice President and the Governor of Nasarawa State. Your Excellencies, the former governors present here and the fathers of the state and our fathers, distinguished Senator Wadada, I was actually nonplussed. I was going to say His Excellency Senator. So I remember that the election had not taken place yet. Senator Wadada, as you all are aware, by the grace of God, is going to take over the mantle of leadership of the state. And through your support, all and sundry, the chairman and management of New Energy Limited, our hosts, and our partners in progress, I salute you. Members of the Federal Executive Council here present, especially my dear sister, the Minister of Women Affairs. My brother there did say that to use the word Amazon to describe her will be underrepresenting her. Since I met with her in the Federal Executive Council, she had shone like the rising northern star who is constant. She has demonstrated uncanny capacity for performance, and she has the ability of a man. So we just don't call her the Amazon, because the Amazon connotes feminine, endowments. So we call her the super minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. She has been a pride to Nasarawa State from what we have seen. Our royal fathers, captains of industry, leaders of our host communities, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, Let me begin by expressing my deep appreciation to Mr. President, as every speaker here has done, for honoring this event. Despite the numerous demands of his office, and he has chosen the man who is capable of delivering his message at every instance, and who understands the nuances and dynamics of administration, who is very well experienced, vast in governance, and that is our Vice President. You have chosen to be here because you recognize the importance of solid mineral sector to Nigeria's economic future. Your presence is therefore another clear demonstration of your administration's commitment to building an economy that is driven by production, industrialization, and private investment. Permit me also to congratulate my brother, the governor, and my second minister. By the way, the president is aware that we call him the Minister of State for Solid Minerals. And so, perhaps, maybe after his stint as governor, there is a job waiting for him. There is a saying that Governor Sule is referred to as what I have just mentioned as the unofficial Minister of State. And this is so because there are very few governors who speak about mining with the same enthusiasm, zeal, and gusto like Governor Sule. He displays uncommon passion for the solid mineral sector, not simply because Nasarawa is endowed with solid minerals. In fact, it was late Margaret Thatcher of Britain who said, for a society or a nation to be endowed with natural resources is not sine qua non to development. It's not equal to development. And it doesn't mean that such a country will develop. And there are examples all over the world of countries with humongous natural resources with abject poverty. So therefore, we also have on the flip side, there are other countries without a single natural resource, but who are today in the first world of development. You can mention countries like Taiwan, like, even China. China is old. You can mention Singapore, Japan, and such other countries that don't have a single natural resource. But the most important factor of economics, which most people don't appreciate or realize, is the human being, is the human factor. You can have the technology, you can have the natural resources, you can have the land, even the capital, the money. But if you have an absence of the right mental capacity in the human beings that habitate that society, it will be zero. All those factors will come to naught. So the human factor is the most important factor of production. And it's because of that that Nasarawa is rising in the solid minerals, because Nasarawa was lucky to get it right by choosing a leader that has the mental capacity. Anyone who has worked with him knows what I'm saying. It's not just massaging his ego. These are mental capacity in the human beings that habitate that society. It will be zero. All those factors will come to naught. So the human factor is the most important factor of production. And it's because of that that Nasarawa is rising in the solid minerals, because Nasarawa was lucky to get it right by choosing a leader that has the mental capacity. anyone who has worked with him knows what I'm saying. It's not just massaging his ego. These are things that we have seen. It's therefore not surprising that Nasarawa State continues to attract serious mining investments. I'm very, very lucky. I consider myself very lucky and privileged to have, just a little over a year ago, to have represented Mr. President here on this soil to perform the groundbreaking ceremony of this very factory we are commissioning today. And that speaks volumes. It speaks volumes to the efficacy of the policies of this government, the reforms, the creativities that are being put in place to elevate Nigeria from the shackles of poverty and degradation to joining the Committee of Developed Nations. And today, when we announced the local value addition policy, when we took over slightly, just going to 3 years ago, when the cabinet was formed, and the president assigned the Ministry of Solid Minerals with a statement, one statement. He told me, go there, recapture the solid minerals of Nigeria, reposition it, nurture it, develop it, and make it to transform the economy of this country through the diversification agenda. What we are doing here today is an eloquent testimony to the prophetic statement of Mr. President on the one hand, and to our own in the Ministry of Solid Minerals, with the cooperation of all and sundry, to our own commitment to that focal point of developing and transforming the solid minerals of Nigeria. In fact, when I go abroad to so many international events on mining, in the last 2 years or so, my counterparts, ministers of other minerals jurisdictions around the world, they often ask me, oh, was it President Tinubu that just created the Ministry of Solid Minerals? And I retort, no. We've always had the Ministry of Solid Minerals, mines and steel and stuff. But they will tell me that it's only just now, under this administration, that they started hearing a lot about Nigeria possessing solid minerals. That Nigeria was identified with oil and gas to some extent. But now they are hearing about solid minerals. And I tell them that that's our first point of success. We have succeeded in diverting both local and international attention to the huge potential of solid minerals of Nigeria. And once that is achieved, then all the other ancillary factors of production and industrialization will begin to fall into place. And then we drew up the 7-point agenda, surveying the landscape of solid minerals in Nigeria. We identified the challenges: insecurity, low DFI, direct foreign investment into the sector, sustainability of production or tenure of office, so many shenanigans in administration of titles and licenses, and of course, the age-long exportation of our raw minerals out of Nigeria to power the industries of developed nations. And like I said about a week and a half ago at the AFNIS of 2026, Africa had been exporting jobs, opportunities, through the exportation of raw minerals. And Africa had been importing poverty. But we said we were going to change that narrative. And we have changed the narrative effectively. With the commissioning of this project today, it's another chapter in our efforts at changing that narrative. We will no longer be exporting our raw minerals. local value addition became the pivot of our policies in the Solid Minerals Ministry. And I'm very happy and grateful to the operators in the sector for accepting this policy, for imbibing it, and for implementing it, just like the Diamond Energy Group has done. And now, to show the efficacy of that policy, other African countries have latched onto that policy. Virtually every other African country that mining is taking place is now issuing directives that no more exportation of raw minerals. And to strengthen that resolve, the African ministers of minerals got together and formed a pressure group called the African Mineral Strategy Group. And lo and behold, Nigeria was elected the pioneer chairman. And last January, this year's January, Nigeria was re-elected as the chairman of that body, showing that the impact and effect of the solid minerals policies in Nigeria are reverberating all over Africa. And what more evidence do we need than us performing the groundbreaking of this Diamond Energy factory just about a year ago, and today the factory construction has been completed fully and production is starting. You should give Nigeria a round of applause for that. I want to say, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that we are not resting on our oars. As part of our 7-point agenda, I mentioned insecurity, which has gained currency of discussion, not necessarily exacerbation of occurrences. No. Not because the insecurity associated with mining has geometrically increased in occurrence, no. But it has gained currency again because of the attention that we've succeeded in reverting on solid minerals in Nigeria. So now everybody is conscious of the potentials of solid minerals in Nigeria, and everybody is aware and eager that we must maximize the benefits accruing from these solid minerals. That's why you see a rush of comments on the social media propagating insecurity in mining. It's not increasing. And I'll tell you why. Slightly less than 2 years ago, when we saw the insecurity challenge in mining, and for the first time in the history of Nigeria, we established the mining marshals, a new security outfit, architecture, devoted exclusively to combating illegal mining in Nigeria. And so far, over 300 illegal miners have been apprehended. Over 150 are undergoing prosecution as we speak. And we have secured convictions of over 20 collaborators. And the list goes on by the day. Not only that, we also have a persuasive aspect of the policy. The mining marshals will arrest those who are stubborn or incorrigible. That is the coercive aspect of the policy. There is a persuasive aspect of it, and that is persuading the artisanal miners and those who are stragglers in the industry to form themselves into cooperatives, become formalized, structured, and of course, they will no longer be referred to as illegal miners. And then they can now approach the financial institutions to obtain funding to enhance their capacity to work. And because they are structured and formalized, they are recognized by government, and government can then derive the hitherto lost revenue in terms of royalties, taxes, and the like. And that policy is also working wonders. So far, we've registered over 250 such cooperatives across the nation, and is growing by the day as well. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for want of time, I will want to round up by leaving you with one adage. And that adage is this. This government, led by the President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his able Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima. This government is determined, come rain, come shine, to lift Nigeria out of the shackles of poverty. It's not going to be easy. It's never easy. In fact, you have started seeing the throes of re-engineering and restructuring an economy. And I always say at every forum I'm opportune to attend, that when you want to lift a society out of economic doldrums, it's not a tea party. It's not something you sit down in your house and within a twinkle of an eye, the economy is transformed. No, you must go through the crucibles of development, of laying down enduring structures, such as the policy reforms that this government has put in place, removal of subsidy, margin of all this multiple foreign exchange, and all other policies introduced all around. There is a gestation period. We are going through the gestation period. And believe you me, we are going to turn the curve. Once we turn the curve, the results manifest in a large scale, and Nigerians will begin to sing hallelujah and hosanna to Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his team. Ladies and gentlemen, to the Diamond Energy Group, we believe in your partnership. But like my brother, Senator Wadada, said, this is just the beginning. And for other potential partners in progress in the mining industry, we no longer give titles or approve licenses of any intending operator without showing us a concrete plan of local processing, and not just local processing, to the entire value chain. Our goal is to begin to produce lithium batteries, the vehicles, the phones, the solar panels, the solar powered turbines, and every gadget that uses lithium as a base requirement for its performance. We want to produce everything in Nigeria. Diamond Energy has started, Nasarawa State has started, Nigeria remains on the go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Let's put our hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Minister, Solid Minerals Development, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Henry Dele Alaki. The Minister has said His Excellency, the Governor of Nasarawa State, is the unofficial Minister of State, Solid Minerals. Sir, he is also the unofficial spokesperson of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Nasarawa State. He never misses any chance to tell the people what the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing for Nigeria and Nigerians. It is my pleasure at this point to invite to the podium His Excellency, our man of honor and dignity and accountability, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule. Thank you, Mr. President, for the respect. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. You cannot be. Thank you. Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by our own that we are so proud of, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, the former Governor of Nasarawa State and the former National Chairman of our party, Senator Abdullahi Adamu Turakin Kefi, our distinguished senators who are here, my dear brother and my senior minister, the Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals, Mr. Henry Dele Alaki, and our dear daughter, Minister of Women Affairs, Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, members of the Diplomatic Corps, my father, His Royal Highness, the Emir of Lafia, who is ably represented by my other father, Dr. Shehu Chindo Yamusa III, the Emir of Kefi, Emir of Nasarawa, and all our other royal fathers who are here. Members of the National and State Working Committee of our party, members of the State Executive Council, members of the Security Councils, the chairman of the local government councils, especially the chairman of Nasarawa and chairman of Algon who are here. The ambassador, the meaning is actually the chairman. So the ambassador of Julin and Kanmax, Mr. Hugh Jong Chiang. The MD of the Diamond New Energy, my dear friend, I call him David, but they call him Zion Ching. The CEOs of private organizations and captains of industries who are here, distinguished members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, I know time is against us. That is my number one reason for actually I'm not going to read my speech, I'm just going to summarize. The second reason is that usually they allow the junior ministers to speak before the senior ministers, but you have asked the senior minister to speak and he has said everything that I'm supposed to say, so I don't even know what else to say. Rather than first and foremost, to welcome you, Your Excellency, and to thank you and appreciate you for actually taking the time, we know how busy you are, to accept to come to Nasarawa State for an industry that we are so proud of. For us, the best that we ever had, the biggest that we ever had, with the huge impact that we ever had. So we must say thank you to you, and thank you to you. I also want to sincerely thank the minister for the fact that the minister is supposed to also be traveling. We had to change things around for him to be here. And we really never wanted to commission this factory without the minister. So I thank you, Minister, for taking the time. But I thank Mr. President for accepting to be the special guest of honor to this event and for sending the Vice President to be here with him. I also want to use the opportunity to thank the chairman and actually the CEO, and he calls himself the ambassador of this company, for actually believing in us and coming to Nasarawa State and believing that Nasarawa State is the best for your investment. I say so. I also want to thank those who started all this. Mr. Chang, I will continue to thank you for the wonderful thing that you have done. You have actually introduced me to these investors, and that introduction has now materialized into where we are. I must say thank you to you. I must thank our Ministry of Environment. So many commissioners, including the current commissioner, have worked so hard, and I have dragged them along to ensure that this happens. And today it has happened. Today I'm fulfilled. Today I'm proud. I'm unhappy that for those who are looking for industrialization and making a mockery of it, come to Endo and see what industrialization is all about, and it is right here. Let me therefore take the liberty of this occasion to inform our prospective investors in Nasarawa State that Nasarawa State is blessed with abundant natural resources such as lead, zinc, lithium, copper, gemstones, cobalt, gold, marble, iron ore, and barytes, among others. These are found in commercial quantities in Nasarawa State. We are also blessed with fertile land for agricultural production. I therefore call on you to work with our MD of NASIDA, who has worked so hard to ensure that every investment that comes into the state makes a meaning. I also ask you to come and join us in order to work towards the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. Our proximity to FCT remains one of the major competitive advantages for housing and industries, and we'll continue to work on it to make sure it happens. At this juncture, Let me once again appreciate His Excellency the Vice President, our dear Minister, and also appreciate all those who have put in their words one way or the other to make sure this happens. I will not forget our Emir of Nasarawa and also the late Oswajiri, who have worked very hard to ensure that they support this. The people of Endo, I'm proud of you. I want to thank you so much. Our workers that started in this factory, that I asked you to be patient, I thank God that you are patient. Today, you are beginning to see the result of your patience. I'm happy that you did not allow the initial 700 million naira given to you to cover your face and to block you from this factory. We must have had our fights earlier with me, but all I'm fighting for was to see today, and I'm here today with you. And the biggest beneficiaries of this are you. Sorry that you have not had the opportunity to speak, because time is of essence, and we are trying to make sure that the Vice President does not fly a helicopter into Abuja during this rainy season at this time. So that is the reason why we are doing that. But left to me, we will have asked the Hakimi, the village head, the women leader, the youth leader, and every one of you to speak. So just that you have not spoken, don't worry. You can speak to me, and I will definitely take your message as usual. Thank you very much, everybody, and may God Almighty bless you.
Excellency, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi A. Sule. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the beacon of renewed hope, said to Minister Dele Alake, recapture, reposition, and rediversify the solid mineral sector. Today, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, one who is vast in confidence and nuance in administration, one who is touring in resonance, a yielder of fruitful performance, is here to convey the message of his president. Distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON.
Kindly take your seats, please. Ku sake yin wakan gwamnati na gwamnati. Thank you. Our host, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Alhaji Sule. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Dr. Incoming Senator Emmanuel Agbadu Akabe. The Senator representing Nasarawa West Senatorial District and APC governorship candidate of Nasarawa State, the audacious, distinguished Senator Ahmed Aliu Wadada. The Senator representing Nasarawa North Senatorial District, Senator Danladi Halilu Mbulu Anza. Thank you. Our host, the Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Alhaji Sule. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Dr. Incoming Senator Emmanuel Agbadu Akabe. The Senator representing Nasarawa West Senatorial District and APC governorship candidate of Nasarawa State, the audacious, distinguished Senator Ahmed Aliu Wadada. The Senator representing Nasarawa North Senatorial District, Senator Danladi Halilu Mbulu Anza. Member representing Nasarawa Toto Federal Constituency, Honorable Abdul Mumin Mohammed Ari. My Ekbon, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Henry Dele Alake. The Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim. Your Excellency, the former Governor of Nasarawa State, former National Chairman of the APC, Turakin Kepi, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. Baba muna alfahari da kai, muna maka godiya. Kai cikakken dattijo ne. Muna alfahari da kai kuma muna maka godiya. Heads of federal government agencies and parastatals, I want to weaponize the Secretary to the Nasarawa State Government, Shuaibu Magaji Labaran, SAN, to recognize and appreciate members of the Nasarawa State Executive Council. The Chairman of Nasarawa Local Government, Honorable Mohammed Hassan Ahmed, I wish to weaponize you to recognize and appreciate all our local government chairmen. The Ambassador of Juling and Canmans, Mr. Yu Jongkyang, the Managing Director of Diamond New Energy, Mr. Yong Jing, heads of security establishments in Nasarawa State, we appreciate you too. We respect you and we adore you. His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kepi Yamusa, Dr. Shehu Chindo Yamusa III. Sarki ba shi da aboki amma kai dai abokina ne. The Emir of Nasarawa and all the royal fathers present here, members of the fourth estate of the Rim, honored guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Solid minerals are the enduring backbone of every economy because no technology rises without them. Every road and every factory began as ore in the ground, transformed by people who refuse to live there. This is why the choice before us is stark. We'll either maximize our industrial advantage and turn our endowments into engines of prosperity, or we'll spend our years manufacturing excuses for our lack of innovation. The soil does not apologize for our failures, and it does not congratulate us for our potential. It waits for a people serious enough to redeem it. I join you today on behalf of my principal, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, and with his goodwill for you. We gather to affirm a direction, to make a statement about the kind of economy Nigeria must become, the kind of future we must build, and the kind of partnerships we must encourage if our natural endowments are to translate into shared prosperity for our people. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, history teaches us that nations do not become great because nature has been generous to them. As rightly attested to by the Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals, some of the richest countries in the world do not have natural endowments. He mentioned Japan, Singapore, South Korea, even China, as big as it is not as naturally endowed as some other countries. Across the world, countries blessed with minerals, oil, gas, fertile lands, and strategic locations remain trapped in poverty because they fail to convert resources into productive capacity, while nations with far fewer advantages are breathing to global prominence through discipline, enterprise, technology, skills, and industrial organization. Natural resources may be a blessing, but only vision can turn them into wealth. Only institutions can protect that wealth. Only industry can multiply it, and only people can give it meaning. Our national conversation has been dominated by what lies beneath our soil. We have spoken of our gold, our lithium, our tin, our iron ore, our bitumen, our coal, and our rare earth elements with justifiable pride. But pride does not build factories. Statistics does not create jobs, and mineral maps do not transform the lives of young Nigerians. What changes a nation is a deliberate movement from extraction to processing, from potential to production, from raw materials to value-added goods, and from isolated investments to integrated industrial ecosystems. That is why this occasion matters. The commissioning of Diamond New Energy projects here in Nasarawa State represents confidence in Nigeria, in Nasarawa State, and in the revolutionary reforms set in place by the present administration. It represents confidence that Nigeria is ready to participate in the global minerals economy on terms that create jobs, build skills, strengthen local enterprises, and expand our productive base. No nation has corrected deep economic distortions without courage, and no economy has moved from dependency to productivity without building lasting ground for investment, productivity, and growth, so that serious investors can plan for the long term. Local entrepreneurs can compete, young people can find work, and the wealth of the nation begins to serve the people of this nation. This is why the solid mineral sector occupies a strategic place in our economic agenda. The evolving technology is not only disrupting the world as we know it, but has restated the inevitability of solid minerals development. Lithium has become one of the defining minerals of the energy transition, central to battery technology, electric mobility, and renewable energy storage. The question for Nigeria is whether we aspire to remain on the margins. Our answer to this has been given with eloquent cadence by the Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals Development, my dear brother, Dr. Henry Dele Alake. Beyond the energy, clarity and courage he has brought to this assignment, he has pushed the reforms needed to reposition the sector, restore investor confidence, and ensure that our mineral wealth is managed with seriousness and purpose. Since the creation of the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, we have never had it so good. He's a man of courage and conviction. Age sometimes is just a factor. His 70 years on Mother Earth is reflected in his output, in his courage, in his convictions, in his drive, and in his energy. Dr. Alake, the President is mightily proud of you. What we witness today is part of a larger national reawakening. Nigeria is a country of extraordinary promise, blessed with a young population, a vast market, abundant resources, and a proud place in the world. But promise is not enough. A nation must organize itself to fulfill its promise, turning potential into performance, building institutions that work, and preparing its young people for the industries of tomorrow. So this commissioning must be understood beyond ceremony. A factory is never just a building. It is where policy becomes employment, where investment becomes production, and where hope begins to acquire structure. Every factory that opens on Nigerian soil is an act of faith in our people, our institutions, and the possibilities of this republic. None of this would have been easy without the resolve and vision of my dear brother, His Excellency Engineer Abdullahi Esule, to make Nasarawa a template for the promise of extractive industry development. Instead of waiting for opportunities to announce itself, he has pursued it. He has cultivated it. He has built an environment in which investors can engage with confidence. Minerals may be deposited by nature, but investment is drawn by leadership. That leadership in the past 7 years of his stewardship in Nasarawa State. There can never be peace without development, and there can never be development without peace. Nasarawa State is a kaleidoscope of colors. Nasarawa State is not a monolithic Kano or a monolithic Ekiti. Nasarawa is a mini Nigeria. And because of his sense of leadership, because of his sense of inclusivity, it's not a thing of pride, but Nasarawa is an island of peace and development in an ocean of poverty and depravity. Ku mutanen Nasarawa ba za ku san waye AA Sule ba sai bayana. Shi dattijo ne kuma yana da dumbin hakuri. And he has a sense of fairness. Kowane shugaba a Nasarawa da suka yi fada da AA Sule mafi yawan su ne da laifi. He makes effort to build bridges. He makes efforts to pacify all interest groups. And in Ahmed Aliyu Wadada, you will get a replacement who has the same energy, even greater energy, who has the vibrancy. Amma ku sani mutane, za ku taka AA Sule ya daga fuska. Wannan da in kun taka shi shi ma zai taka ku. Ai gaskiya na faɗa. So, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us all rise and give a standing ovation to Engineer AA Sule. We kidan ku nan ma. You can sit down, please. To the management of Diamond New Energy, I congratulate you. Your investment is timely, strategic, and important. Made at the very moment Nigeria is repositioning itself. We welcome your path in the industrial direction of this nation and the jobs, the technology, and the industrial linkages you bring. Nigeria values partnerships built on mutual respect and long-term commitment. And we welcome Chinese investments that create jobs, transfer knowledge, and deepen local capacity. But this relationship must rest on modern commerce. It must be measured by the factories built, the technologies shared, and the Nigerian workers' friend. To our host communities, I appeal to you to remain progressive stakeholders in this journey, never bystanders. This is a moment to stand with local investors. For communities need development, investors need stability, and government needs growth. And these interests are harmonized only through trust and mutual respect. To the world watching Nasarawa State, I invite you to take part in this expanding market. While you weigh the evidence of our reforms, the scale of our market, and the resolve of this administration, never forget that the jobs created, the skills transferred, the community strengthened, and the new investments drawn by the example we set here today are a product of the convergence of ideas and a consequence of the reforms prioritized by the present administration. So on behalf of my boss, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I congratulate Diamond New Energy, the government and good people of Nasarawa State, the Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals Development, our host communities, our royal fathers, our investors, and our workers. May this investment prosper. On this note, it is my utmost honor, once again, on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to commission the Diamond New Energy projects in Nasarawa State. Thank you. and may God bless us all.
Thank you. His Excellency will remain on the stage briefly to take a photograph with the management of Diamond New Energy, His Royal Highness, and of course, His Excellency and the Honorable Ministers to please join. The investors would like this to be taken to the rest of the world to show that indeed Nigeria is open for business. And we would like to thank His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, most distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima. We can take the photographs one after the other.
Where is the cover?
Thank you so very much, the Chairman.
Okay. Wait.
His Excellency, the Vice President here representing the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Thank you so very much. Thank you. We'll remain standing for the national anthem.
TCCN News.